Wall Street hated it. They screamed for quick profits. They wanted good numbers for the next quarter, but Bezos understood a fundamental law of macroeconomics and human psychology that they did not. Most people drastically overestimate what they can accomplish in one single year, but they completely, tragically underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years of relentless focus. Think about your own life right now. You are likely in a building phase. Perhaps you are spending your nights studying complex laws, diving deep into advanced accounting principles, or trying to understand how macroeconomics actually dictates the flow of global money. Maybe you are studying for brutal university exams or trying to start a business selling digital products online, setting up automated systems to generate cash flow. If you are entering these arenas looking for a massive financial payoff in the next 30 days, I can guarantee you one thing. You are going to quit when it gets hard, and it will get unimaginably hard. Building a massive financial empire is exactly the same as building an elite physical physique in the gym. You do not get a massive, powerful, muscular body by going to the gym for one weekend and looking in the mirror. It requires thousands of unseen, painful repetitions. It requires strictly tracking your nutrition. It requires showing up and lifting the heavy iron when your body is tired, when your mind wants to quit, and when nobody is there to applaud you. You cannot fake a 300-pound bench press. The weight either goes up or it crushes you. The market is exactly the same. You cannot fake a solid balance sheet. You cannot fake true business management skills. The sweat equity you put into the gym, that raw discipline, is the exact same sweat equity you must put into your business and your financial education. Jeff Bezos used a brilliant mental framework to survive the hard days. He called it the regret minimization framework. When he was deciding whether or not to leave his safe, high-paying job to start Amazon, he did not think about the next 6 months. He projected himself into the future. He imagined himself at 80 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, looking back at his life. He asked himself, at 80, will I regret trying this and failing? No. But will I regret never having tried at all? The answer was a terrifying yes. While every other CEO in the world was constantly panicking and asking, what is going to change in the next 10 years? Bezos asked the exact opposite question. He asked, what is not going to change in the next 10 years? He knew that in 10 years, customers would still demand low prices. He knew they would still want incredibly fast delivery. And he knew they would still want a massive selection of products because human nature does not change. So he took all of his capital, all of his energy, and poured it strictly into those 3 pillars. He didn't care about the short-term losses. He was building an infrastructure so massive, so efficient, and so complex that in 10 years it would be mathematically impossible for anyone else to compete with him. This is the exact mindset shift you must force upon yourself if you want to escape the trap of the middle class. You have to completely stop playing the short game. If you are building a business, do not ask how you can make a quick $1,000 this week to buy something flashy. Ask yourself how you can build a system of value that will generate $100,000 a month, 10 years from now, while you sleep. When you truly adopt a 10-year horizon, your daily anxiety completely disappears. You stop panicking when a single marketing campaign fails. You stop getting depressed when you face a temporary setback or fail an exam. You stop comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20 on social media. Because you know you are playing a completely different game. You're not trying to win the week, you're trying to win the decade. The execution phase of this 10-year rule is incredibly lonely. It is not glamorous. It is not something you can post on Instagram for quick likes. It is the late nights staring at a glowing computer screen until your eyes burn. It is the boring weekends spent analyzing data, mastering business law, and refining your digital products while everyone else is out partying and wasting their money. It is the absolute quiet, heavy solitude of the builder. You must be willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time. When Bezos was building Amazon's massive fulfillment centers, the media called him crazy. They said he was burning money and leading his company to bankruptcy, but he did not care about the opinions of average people who thought in 3-month cycles. He was already living a decade in the future. Look around at the modern world. We are living in the most impatient era in human history. We are living in an era of toxic instant gratification. If a web page takes more than 3 seconds to load, people close it in frustration. If a short video does not entertain them in the first 5 seconds, their brain demands that they swipe away to the next hit of cheap dopamine. People want their food delivered to their door in 15 minutes. They want to build an elite physique in a week. And they want to become multimillionaires in exactly 3 months. Everyone wants the end result without the brutal journey. Everyone wants to drive the brand new Mercedes G-Wagon, or perhaps that perfectly restored classic BMW E30 parked right outside their house today. But absolutely nobody wants to endure the 10 years of quiet, boring, and painful execution required to actually earn it. We have become a society deeply addicted to the short term. And this psychological addiction is exactly what is keeping the vast majority of the population completely, hopelessly broke. If you want to understand how to build true, unbreakable generational wealth, you cannot look at normal people. You have to study the titans who completely conquered the game. Look at Jeff Bezos. He did not build a trillion-dollar empire by chasing whatever the newest, hottest, flashiest trend was that month. He did not look for a get-rich-quick scheme. He built Amazon using a brutal, unbreakable philosophy that goes against human nature, the 10-year rule. Let us go back to 1997. Amazon was just a small, struggling company trying to sell books on the internet. In his very first letter to shareholders, Jeff Bezos wrote a statement that most Wall Street investors completely ignored or laughed at. He boldly stated, "It is all about the long term." He openly told his incredibly impatient investors that he was going consciously to make decisions that would hurt the company's profits today so that they could absolutely dominate the entire globe 10 years from now. If you want to create extreme wealth, you must sacrifice the now for the later. You must take the money you make today and aggressively reinvest it back into your mind, your skills, and your business infrastructure. Let the masses fight over the scraps of instant gratification. You must become an absolute master of delayed gratification. And remember why you are building this wealth. True wealth is not just about buying luxury cars or showing off. True wealth is about ultimate power and responsibility. It is about having the resources to build a fortress for your future family, your partner, and the people you love. It is about having the financial freedom to fund social projects, to protect the vulnerable, even to provide food, water, and shelter for the street animals who have no voice. When you have money, you have the power to actually change the physical world around you. Think about what that actually looks like in your daily life. It means that when you are sitting at your desk late at night, exhausted, staring at textbooks on business management, accounting, or corporate law, you are not just studying for an exam. You are literally acquiring the blueprints to build and protect your future empire. Average people view education as a chore. True builders view it as acquiring the ultimate weapons for the battlefield of business. And when you finally take that knowledge and start building your own systems, maybe you launch an online storefront to sell your own digital products, you must be prepared for the silence. On day 1, there might be 0 sales. On day 10, there might be 0 sales. A person with a short-term mindset will immediately close the shop and say, "This does not work." But a builder operating on the 10-year rule understands that this is just the foundation phase. You are testing, you are failing, you are optimizing. Every failure is just data. You are not building a store to make a quick buck tomorrow. You are building an automated cash flow machine for the next decade. This level of resilience is only possible when your why is massive. If your only goal is to buy a luxury watch, the very first time your business fails, you will quit. But if your goal is to have the absolute freedom to take care of your family or to single-handedly fund a massive social project, like building a permanent shelter and providing endless medical care for those street animals, you will become unstoppable. A luxury car cannot give you the fuel to work 100 hours a week, but the desire to be a powerful protector of the vulnerable, that is an infinite source of energy. You are no longer just an entrepreneur. You become a force of nature. Look at the horizon. Make a decision today, right now, that your future self 10 years from now will thank you for. Build your foundation deep into the earth. Master the boring fundamentals like accounting, economics, and law, so that when the economic storms come, and they will come, Your empire stands unbreakable. If you are ready to stop thinking in days and start thinking in decades, if you are ready to embrace the heavy lifting required to build a massive life, make sure you subscribe to Smart Investing Wisdom. We are here to program your mind for the long game. We are building empires, not illusions. Put your head down, start your 10-year clock today, and I will see you in the next video.